Now, February 14 is a lot of people, to some others, they really don't give a hoot about the day, but it's a big deal to some. I mean, in the United States, it contributes about $20 billion into their revenue yearly. At least for this year, they're expecting $20 billion. And last year, they raised about $19.6 billion just because of Valentine's Day. So it sure is a big issue. But we're not talking about Valentine alone, because with Valentine's Day comes love, relationship, and all the many dramas that are attached to it. So on Flipside, we'll be talking about young adults and relationship. I have two seasoned counselors in the house, but you'll meet my guests shortly, so stay with me, don't go away. I'll be right back. You're in luck, you've not missed much. We're talking about young adults and relationships. I had said before the break, we have two seasoned guidance counselors in the house today. And so I would introduce the men. We seated very close to me here. I have Babatunde Adegbola in the house, and I'll be addressing you as BOS. Okay. And I also have Dr. Margaret Abikwe from BIU, yes, Benson Idausa University. She's been on the show before and we've talked about education, but she's actually a guidance counselor from the BIU. Good to have you two on the show today. All right, now we're talking about young adults and dating, but I would even start with the old Valentine drama. I'm not wearing red, but it's still close to it. It's the wine thing and all that. And Don General, before you left your program, you were asking what color of gown I'm going to wear tomorrow for the ITV Radio Couples Classic. Okay, it's going to be black. No red this year. It's black. All right, now back to Flipside. A lot of people celebrate Valentine's Day, and in Nigeria, we're not left out. All over the world, we also do our own thing. Before the show started, there was an advert for a program. Even right here on independent television and radio, we have our programs and several other programs. Well, Dr. Meg, do you agree with the way we celebrate Valentine's Day in Nigeria?
Oh, well, I wouldn't say I totally agree. But what I know about Valentine is that it has to do with love, and love means sharing, love is giving, and love is showing kindness to people. But this wild, in quote, form of celebration, I don't buy into it at all.
Okay.
Because a lot of things that should not ordinarily be seen among us happen all in the name of love during the Valentine's season. Okay. So that shouldn't be it at all.
All right. Now, BOS, Valentine's Day, we heard a program on radio last week, Friday, and it was a heated argument between the ladies. We called the program Ladies' Night. And some were saying it's February 14, it's Lovers' Day. It's for intimate relationships. Some others said it's love. It's forget the lover. It's a day to show love. But what exactly would you say is Valentine's Day for? Is it for lovers or just a day to show love to just about anybody?
Well, basically, Valentine's Day to many denotes different meaning. But personally, every day is Valentine as far as I'm concerned. But the things we see today is of variances among youth, basically. And what I will want to chip in is we need to be very careful, particularly with the way we acclaim the day Valentine, because it has caused a lot of negatives in the public, among the youth, and even to the world of science. People get to do so many things because of Valentine, and most of it is detrimental to our youth, and that's why we have to be very careful as adults that are in charge of guiding this youth, basically. The result of days of Valentine is gotten after 9 months. Normally by November, you start seeing a lot of unwanted pregnancies and children of no fathers, and this to me is negative, and we have to be very careful, and we need to guide the youth. And I think the program is ideal for us to be able to iron one or two things that will benefit the masses.
Okay, so the question exactly, is it for lovers, people who are intimately linked, or it's a day for just about anybody?
It is for lovers, basically.
Okay.
Those that their union is established legally, legally in terms of marriage.
Are you serious?
Yes.
So if you're dating, you're engaged, you're still...
I want to add to that.
Okay.
I quite agree with him, but I want to give an extension of it.
Okay.
There is no harm in showing genuine love to people. If we declare a day for love, it should go beyond because I know you, I show you love. So we should try as much as possible. On that day we have declared, say this is Lover's Day. You love somebody. If I love you, it does not really mean that I must have, an intimate, relationship with you. But if I go the extra mile to help you do something, it shows I love you. If I go the extra mile to help lift you out of a particular situation, it shows that I love you. So I will marry both of them. It's both a day for lovers and it's a day to also show love, especially to those that do not have opportunity to be loved.
Okay, now the ladies on that show, the ones that were pro me, would agree with you. Because I was insisting that if you want to show love to people, that's more like charity. We have international charity days. You can just show love on those days and let the lovers enjoy their day.
I know you, Daisy.
Okay, now, someone also mentioned that because of the way we've carried the old Valentine thing, it's leading to depression among singles. I'm not a doctor, I don't know, and in Nigeria we don't really have statistics to back that up. But she claims that if you're a widower or you're recently widowed and you just, on that day you usually celebrate with a partner, and then you're seeing jingles and everybody's just parading in their red dresses and hanging out, there's this feeling like I should be going out with someone today, I should be spending it with someone, and you can just pick a random guy, which is risky. But how would you advise those who are single to celebrate Valentine this year?
Well, based on your submission, it's not only for, seen among those that are widows. Okay. Even for those that are married and they have their wives and husband not staying together, okay. That depression-like attitude also comes in. But basically, the media has made it more easy for people to connect. And I would love to say that the old fashion of celebrating Valentine is no longer in vogue, which is you must be there, which is you must give a card and chocolates to back it
and
up,
and
rose and all that. But this day, there are so many ways by which we can still promote the affection within a reasonable context. And basically, one could make use of, for the lady, when a lady is of age 23, and for a guy that is of age 25. I think that is ideal. And these two groups, they must have completed their first degree in my own dictionary.
Yeah, that's how daddies talk. That's how daddies ever talk. In fact, even if you're 29, you're still daddy's baby. You're not old enough. Mommy, please. What age?
The fact remains that maturity counts in relationship and in dating. For those that are very immature, they may be brilliant, but they may be immature in handling contests in the relationship, in every relationship. And there are implied terms that exist that you cannot really define. Part of it is what Dr. Mrs. Abikwe has just enumerated, that infatuation is the key word of dating of a younger person, because they are actually carried away by things of the moment. You know, he's good looking and he's tall. Because most times you see them having a storybook kind of man or kind of woman. I want my woman to be tall, green, yellow, what have you. And when they see such attributes, they go for it. But it's beyond just the look. It encompasses a lot of things, and that's why for every typical daddy in quotes, they want that boy to be of a reasonable age of handling tough things within the home front, and for that lady that has graduated, has gotten a job, because these days ladies are not just to go to school and put everything at the kitchen. Those stuffs that they've gone to school that they graduated upon must be established in a setting, and that setting is in the workplace. And once that is established, then we can back it up with dating, and with that, the likelihood of missing it is no longer be there.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
They will not agree, just that are listening at home right now.
And that's why we have a lot of breakages.
But I'm thinking, in our generation, we have a lot of divorce issues coming up. But in our parents' time, my father's time, at 18, women were married. They were quite young, and they were not divorcing. So is age really that much of a factor?
They were not being challenged. The men of those days are not being challenged. These days, an average girl wants to challenge the attributes of a guy because he's learning. It's more of imposition in the olden days. My daughter, my son is ready for marriage, and I need a girl from your home, because they've made some investigations and they've found out that this particular lady is good enough for their son. And it's more of imposition, like I said. But these days, there is a free will. No parent will want to impose any boy or any girl on a lady these days, because we are more civilized. Things have changed, and that's why that room is no longer there. And those weddings of then, or relationship of then, last better, because the ladies are curtailed. There are structure that has made these ladies that they are meant to abide by, you know. But these days, even those things that are written are no longer are always being challenged.
And ladies cannot be put in the box.
Yeah, no,
we have
they
to
can't.
express ourselves.
They can't. They are more expressive these days.
Okay, but mommy, do you also agree that 23 years old is ideal, or are you going to take it a bit down? 23 for ladies, 25 for men?
I will take it a little bit down, especially for the ladies. But I would agree with maturity, because some ladies get more matured than others.
Yeah.
Matured not just in the physique, matured in the mind, in empowerment. You know, when a lady is maybe in her 20s, you know, she's physically, morally, spiritually matured to become a mother of a home, she can get married. She can get married, but let's not lose that aspect that he said of having basic education, especially for the girl child.
Yes.
I will crave for that.
Yeah.
Because that is your key to empowerment. These days, no man wants to take a liability into his home. But when you are read, you are empowered with first degree. Unfortunately, those days, we used to say teacher's training. At least it be miss, be teacher. But now, even first degree has no weight in Nigeria, you know, anymore. So at least first degree. Then you know, whatever is the situation, you can fall back to a job. Your knowledge in school can help you do some things. You know, you can acquire some entrepreneurial skills that you can help build your home. That is part of the maturity. You know, those days our mothers will only go to the farm and have a lot of children who will help them for farm work and everything. You cannot compare the life then now. And no woman wants to be returned back to her parents' house. So she will just be there, she will endure. But here the woman will tell you that, there's a limit to my suffering. These days it is give and take. It is not all coming from the man. The woman needs to give a support. So for that, the woman must ensure that he's matured. And the man must be ready, very ready. Whether you are 25, 26, 27, for goodness sake, if you don't have a job, something to put food on the table for you and another person, that is when the children start coming in. Why go into marriage? First of all, look for something to do. Get yourself empowered, prepared to enter into marriage before you do it. Because once you enter into it, there is no coming out. So you must be, you know, not only ready age-wise, you must be matured, and you must be empowered financially, at least to put food on your table. You will not send your wife out to start begging. And your children, when she have her first baby, you will not abandon her in the hospital because you cannot pay the hospital bill.
Okay, now also in this issue of relationship, for teenagers who are watching us right now, you know, elections are actually gonna start this Saturday, and many of you are already home from school, so that your for public holiday and meet and break, they made it faster, 2 times self. You have this week, you have next week. So I'm sure a lot of you might be watching, will be watching right now, so that you would learn a thing or two. And for the ones who are just saying, now you're on, you dey talk, maybe you need to also know that there are some effects of dating too young, too early. So I would still start with you. What are some of the effects? Some will tell you if you marry early, if you date early, there's a probability you would marry early. So if you start dating at 15, maybe at 19, you could even be a mom. By the time you're 45, you're a grandmom. You're still very agile and active, but that's on one side. But what are some of the effects of dating too early?
Some of the effects is you might make the wrong choice because you are not yet exposed. You know, your choice is limited. If you start dating, some will get engaged before they get into university. And at the time they get to the university, they start seeing this bubble that they have a crush for. There's a problem there. Or they start seeing this sissy they have a crush for. So thinking back, you will now begin to see what this person has that the partner at home or the person you have promised at home does not have. So this can lead to problem. If you start dating early, you should start preparing for family life early. Because at the time you start exchanging, you know, girls, you start exchanging boys, you might get to the point that you become confused. You don't know who to choose. And if you start dating early, there is also the tendency of, before you get married, you already have what do you call those baby mamas, all around. So, and these are danger. Start dating early without you getting matured. Have you not seen people, the girl is pregnant, the guy says, well, I love you, but I'm not ready for this.
Yes.
You might be tempted to become a killer. That is, you do abortion, you kill the child in your womb. People who date early are those who abandon their children in pits, put them in cartons and throw away. Because if a matured person, you know, gets pregnant, she will know, because she's ready for it, she will know how to handle her pregnancy and how to handle the baby. So most of these abandoned children you will find here and there are from teenagers and from ceremonies like this, from activities like this we want to get into tomorrow. Just one time, a passing time, and the guy will say, I don't know you. Did I beg you after all? Did I not see you with Johnson? Did I not see you with Peter? Did I not see you with this and that? So early dating, you have to be mature, and it should not be secretive. You must share it with a matured adult, preferably your own mother, who will know at the time the boys know that, your mother is aware. They will even give you more respect than they can easily throw you away, because it's not a secret deal anymore. So if you want early dating, make sure you are prepared for those things that are going with it. And come, let's talk about it. If people you are dating, does it mean that you must have sex? Must you make love to the person? Is sex synonymous with love? I love you, but I will not have sex with you. Are you getting a point I'm raising? So girls should be empowered to know that their body is chaste. It's for them. It can be kept till marriage. It's not for Valentine. Your vow this year now may not be your vow next year. You have given to him this year, next year you will give to another person. Okay, when it comes to Independence time, you will have another one. When it comes to Christmas, you will have another one. It's not supposed to be like that. Our bodies are chaste. It should not be given away like that. If a boy loves you, let him love you, but not your body. You love me, you can talk to me without you touching me. And you love me, you can talk to me without me going naked before you. These are private things. It's personal to me. So don't demand for it because you love me. If you want to do that, then you know that you are ready. Then I am ready for family, because there are things that go with it. If I get pregnant now, I will not begin to have headache about it. I will rejoice definitely and be glad about it. But if a 15-year-old girl gets pregnant, and maybe she's in SS2 or SS3, there is problem already. So early dating, there is danger in it. If you are ready to cope with those things, you can go ahead. But if not, just wait. There is time for everything. There is time for everything. You are 15 and you are 16. Don't worry, very soon you'll be 21, 22. When your daddy will ask you, say, hello, baby, when are you bringing him in? And that is more honorable.
Okay. Now, you've talked to the youngsters who are listening. I would allow you to talk to the parents. How can they help ensure that even when their children are in a relationship, this relationship is very healthy and not just a relationship?
First and foremost, we parents have a lot to do. And there is a word that has 3 letters that must be promoted in the home, and that word has to do with L-O-V-E, love. The love that a father shows to the mother is the onset of whatever must be promoted within the children. Most times we do think that these children are not paying attention to situations that are going on within the home front, but they can read, and this is more of a digital world of which these children learn faster. It becomes imperative of every parent to ensure that their own mode of life, the way and attitude video calls and other form of media platforms. Yeah. Thanks.
So, for those who do not even have someone at all, they're not separated. The guy is nowhere to be found, and he or she is just all by herself or himself.
My dear, Valentine's Day is to me like any other good day that God has given to us. And I would say we can make good use of every day. You were talking of maybe a woman who is widow, you know, the husband is no longer there, or the lady who does not have a guy. My dear, make good use of this day that has come to you. That's why I said I'm seeing it beyond being just Lovers' Day. It's also a day you too can show kindness. You too can show love to somebody. It's not a day to bring about depression. It's a day for you to love yourself, love others, and make sure that everything is good at your end. Don't feel bad about it. What's wrong in me giving myself a rose if nobody wants to send me a rose? What's wrong in telling myself, oh, Margaret, you are good today. You look beautiful. I love you. There's nothing wrong in it. Instead of you to not take it that it is compulsory, you must look for a guy who will take you out. Huh? And at the end of the day, you regret it. At the end of the day, he has added more pain to your pain. Get out of it, especially if you are a lady, you are a young lady, nobody wants to take you out. You take yourself out. Feel good. Buy yourself a red dress if you can afford it, if that makes a difference in you. Like you just say you are wearing black tomorrow. You want to buy yourself a black dress, go ahead. Put a red rose on your head. So there's nothing really bad in making yourself feel good if you must celebrate Valentine. There are people, this day just come like every other day. And if you are the lover type, you have a husband, you have a wife, there's nothing wrong in telling him, boy, I love you. Oh, lady, I love you. You are the best thing that would have happened to me. And for parents, you can also share the love to your children. Instead of them going out to look for the love. If you wake up tomorrow morning, you tell your son, you tell your daughter, baby, I love you. You are a wonderful gift that has been given to me. I think that child would take a deep breath, wouldn't feel bad if he sees other people. And if you can afford it, you can also take them out and buy them a bottle of Coke. Let me tell you something. So many years ago, I didn't have, you know, what it takes to take my children out and all the rest on Children's Day. But what we do, I won't call the eatery now. We will go there. I would buy meat pie. I will ask somebody to make meat pie for me specially. I will package them, put them in my bag. We'll go to the eatery. Children, I'm taking you all out. We just go there. We'll sit down. We'll not order drinks because it will be too expensive to buy meat pie, drinks, and then so we'll order. We'll all sit down. We would eat, and the children will be happy. Mommy took us out on Children's Day. That was how we started. But today, you know, yeah.
Okay, so for all those who are watching us right now, you're sitting in your living room or you're watching from the internet because we stream live, or you're watching us, you're going to watch the repeat broadcast tomorrow morning on Star Times channel 130 or Go TV channel 107, or maybe you're going to watch this video on YouTube. Well, I'm reaching out to you all to understand that if you don't have a partner, it's not a do or die affair. So don't get depressed, don't commit suicide, because that's what's raining now for young people. It's just one day, it will come and it will go. But we'll go on a break and then we'll come back and start answering more questions about relationship. Well, this is Flipside, and my name is Daisy Obai Sagon. I have two guests in the house, and we're talking about young adults and relationship, because this is the season of love, and this is Valentine, which is tomorrow, by the way. I have Dr. Margaret in the house, and I also have Babatunde BOS in the house, and we're talking. Okay, now, talking about relationship, which is one of the main things that's come up this February 14th. Those that are breaking up are breaking so they don't buy gifts. Those that are getting hooked so that they can have someone to spend the day with, they're doing that. All right, now, young adults, according to the statistics we got on the internet, if it's anything to work with, the 57% of people who celebrate Valentine's Day fall between the age of 15 and 25. So even those who are legally wed, that BOS was saying should focus on the day more, their percentage was so small. Then even 50 and above was about 40% of them bother about Valentine's Day. The bulk of the people fell between 15 and 25, and they are the ones generating all these plenty monies in gifts. Now, do young people really fall in love? Because you hear a 15-year-old girl tell you, I love him. Even 13. And they're so serious about it, they will quarrel with you. Mommy doesn't ever understand. Daddy, no, let's not even start with daddy and all that. But do they really fall in love, or they are mistaking attraction for love? I will start with you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Young people, 15 to 25. Most times we find this thing they call love is really infatuation. Because what do a young person, 15, 16, 17, understand by love? So it's basically infatuation. You know, a higher level of likeness for that person. Because you find out that whatever relationship that starts, you know, as a teenager, at the time that child gets to the university, 100 level, 200 level, 300 level, he does not maintain that same relationship. If young people fall in love, they would have stayed in that love, you know, till that point where they get married. You find out that many people do not marry that first person they ever met and say, I love you. It does not end up that way. And this kind of love we are talking about, if I understand you, should be something that should be judged, grown into marriage. So let our young people think very well, share their ideas with adults, with their parents, so that they'll have a better understanding of what love is. You are falling in love, you are 16, you are 17. The question I may want to ask, good, you should also be ready to start your family. If you are falling in love, you are mad, I'm not, the mommy don't talk to me, daddy don't talk to me, I have made up my mind, I really love this guy, I love this lady, without her, I will not exist. Are you ready for family life? In fact, at the time you pose this question, most of them will just drop their head down. So it's not really love, it is infatuation.
Okay. BOS, what exactly would be the best age for children to get that? Now, I won't use children for dating.
Well, for me, I will segment it into two. And the attitude that they demonstrate within the home front, between each other, man and wife now, must be that should promote healthiness within the children in terms of relation. Oh, I love the way my father treats my mom, and as such, I'm looking for a woman just like my mother, or a man just like my father. That is healthy. Now, children are meant to bring in their friends. Most parents don't even create that time. Because apart from that LOVE, another word that is also germane that parents must promote within the home front is time. You must create time for your children. As much as you create for your wife, you must also create for your children. Because it is in that you get to know who your child is actually among his peers. So when you bring them in, when you encourage them to bring in their friends, you are able to justify the kind of friend he's keeping, and you can then find a way of going around questioning and to make more inquiries. And with that, advice can be given. But when you don't create that time, the child feels, whatever is going on, or whatever he or she does is the best. And don't forget that peer influence are more domineering within youth than what is being promoted in the house. So basically, in my submission, I will want to say that parents must give out time for their words, and they must find a way of making sure that they spend quality time in understanding the kind of relationship or friends that their words keep, and with that you'll be able to mediate immediately.
Okay, and now the last question before we start packing our things to leave this studio today. Even as much as we've said that there's a lot of danger involved in dating too young, there are still youngsters who will still wear their red bomb shorts tomorrow, not just dresses now, very tight ones at that, and crop tops, and still go hang out. In this era of pants stealing, we've taken and Yahoo Plus, a lot of insecurity all over, rape and so many kidnapping stories coming up every time. Let's help the few we can help that have insisted that they will go out tomorrow. How can they keep themselves safe so that they don't become victims?
Okay, thank you very much. One way to keep yourself safe, like Archbishop would say dress as you will be addressed. Have to dress properly, and make sure you don't stay in a place where you are alone with so many strange faces that you don't even understand. Tell your parents where you are going to. This is what I say, let your relationship not be secretive. If you tell your daddy, I'm going out with David, he knows. David will become conscious and make sure nothing happens to you, because daddy knows she's going out with you. But if you sneak out, if anything, nobody knows where you are. If you cry for help, help will be slow in coming. Then secondly, don't go out at night. Don't go out at night. It's dangerous for young people, whether male or female. Make sure you go out in the daytime where everything is open. Everybody is seeing you. Don't escort people to corners. Say, just follow me. Let's have a hangout in one hotel. You go there. You just say that, don't follow. We just want to have a drink. Why? The things you will not do in your parents' presence, in your pastor's presence, because all of us, we say we go to church, or in your spiritual leader, wherever you belong to your spiritual leader's presence, don't do it in the secret place. The things you do that people, you will say, don't allow mommy to know. Don't allow them to know. Then don't do it. It means that it is not good. Your conscience is already condemning you. So to be safe from this sin, when you see something out of the ordinary, don't keep it to yourself. No matter the threat. Say, if you say it, I will kill you. Say it. Nobody is going to kill you. If some funny things happen to you, somebody asks you some questions, you don't know the head or the tail, you go out with a friend, you say, would you like me to shave your hair, whatever, some kind of funny thing. Don't keep it to yourself. Share it with somebody else. And if they know that you are sharing this thing with somebody else, they will not even ask you, you will not be a victim. Try, like the Bible tells us, it says, flee every appearance of evil. Don't even look at it to say, oh, is this one really evil? When it appears to be evil, it says you should flee, you should take a flight. I think I love that word, and I want our children to listen to that very well. But tomorrow, flee every appearances of evil. The guy is coming so close to you. You are feeling his warmth already. Don't just stand there to say, what are you looking for? Until he grabs you and starts kissing you. Flee. Just take your leave. Look for a way of escape and don't look back.
Okay, your last words.
Yeah, alcohol is one of the easiest way of influencing a lady, and you have to be very careful out there. If you are lured to taking alcohol, resist it. you can be easily drugged through any means, and you have to be careful of those that you are mingling with. There are a lot of incidences of rape at a day like tomorrow. Tomorrow, there will be a lot of situations where at the end of the day, we'll have people that will use different form of contraceptives to abort. And you'll be killing yourself in doing that. So you have to be very careful. Make sure you're hanging out in the daytime and not in a solitary place. The consequences are more detrimental to the ladies. The guys that you are hanging out with will escape. And you have to be very careful with that. So, in a nutshell, avoid solitary places, like Mommy Abikwe just said. Make sure you inform one or two other people wherever you are hanging out, and ensure that it is not within the night time. Ensure everything that you do, you know the child of whom you are. And at the end of the day, God will make tomorrow a pleasant celebration for all of us.
Okay. Quickly.
One other thing I want to quickly chip in. Don't accept, a very expensive gifts that ordinarily, you don't need it, you cannot afford it, your parents cannot afford it for you. Don't accept such gifts because you will pay.
Nowadays is phone.
Yeah.
They can easily use
iPhone.
iPhone.
Yeah, iPhone. Then you will pay for it. So don't accept such gift because it is Valentine.
Okay. All right, people, we have to go. That's how it is on Flipside. You just start and you feel like you have enough time, and towards the end you're like, oh, there's still so much to talk about. But I'm going to put my voice added to what they've already said. Ladies, if you must go out tomorrow, even if you're young or you think you're mature, and there's no extent of trust involved in this matter. Now, take drinks that are in bottles. They are less difficult to inject. Plastic bottles, cartons can easily be injected, and you wouldn't even know they've been a needle, and you drink it and something else happens. So take bottle drinks. Make sure the drinks are open in front of you. And then please, if you're taking alcohol, make sure it's really, really small. And for the guys you're hanging out with, if they're drinking and driving, please don't enter the car. Let them drive and go on their own, and then you take a cab and take yourself safely home. And that's also another thing you need to do. Don't go empty-handed, no money in your purse because you want to hang out. Some guy somewhere wants to take you out. In our ladies' night, we call it vex money. Take vex money with you. So if the guy is beginning to do anyhow, touch you unnecessarily, you can just move, take a cab, and you don't care because you have money to pay. And if he's saying he doesn't want to pay for the food, you don't have to wash plates. You can pay for your food and leave. Or preferably you hang out and have a chaperone, an older person who's going to oversee what's going on there. If you're standing up from where you're eating or drinking, go with your bottle of open drinks. Don't leave it behind and come back to it. Before you come back from the toilet, something could have gone into the drinks. And dress properly. If you wear skimpies, you will be touched. So if you wear covered clothes, good for you. And you should also pick the right events to go for. Religious houses will be organizing a lot of seminars tomorrow. Look for one and attend. They will even have dinners too in churches. Join them if you must eat free food. And pick responsible gatherings, and I'm sure you'll be fine. Thank you so much for staying with us on Flipside. We have to go. You can watch the video on YouTube if you want to catch up on any part maybe you missed out on. But thank you. Thank you, BOS. Thank you, Doctor.